Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler. I'm your host Wally, and today we are on the Texas Lakes and Prairies Trail, taking a look at the International Bowling Museum and Hall of Fame here in Arlington, Texas, right next door to Six Flags. Look at that bowling pin. It's huge. I am a lover of world's biggest things, and this definitely fit the bill. So I'm just glad I came here. I originally just came here for that pin, bowling pin, but there's a whole actual museum, and I wanted to check it out. And this statue reminds me of a Saturday Evening Post Norman Rockwell cartoon. But I was surprised at how awesome this museum was. I thought it was going to be a small, tiny little trophy case, but no, it's an actual museum that tells you the history, and that history starts way back during Egyptian times. That's an actual carving that they have at the Egyptian ruins, and they can trace the game all the way back to those times. It's pretty cool and pretty interesting, and the museum does a pretty good job at showing some of the history behind it. And bowling just wasn't the bowling game that we know today. It's had very different variations, just like bocce ball and some other games that people still play in Europe, because Europe has weird sports. But here at the museum, they have a history of all of that. They have different pins, and bowling didn't really start changing until it got into the Americas, and the whole Midwest people and all the people that came over from Europe brought their sports with them, and it eventually morphed into what we know as bowling. Also, this pinboy was sort of kind of creepy because his face was a hologram. But if you come here to the bowling museum, you get to find out that history and how the 1950s were instrumental in cementing bowling as a sport of the people, because you could show it on TV and you didn't have to do any weird angles because all the angles are pretty much set for you. And then the beer companies got a hold of bowling, and then it just became a big old huge national sport, and people all over the world play it today. They have a little theater that shows that, and they have an old classic bowling alley, and it says bowling, the sport of a lifetime, and it's kind of true because you all ages can play it. Kids, teens, adults, older people, and it's a pretty cool sport. I really suck at it though. Also, every year they have a king of bowling that runs the festivities, and he's chosen randomly. They also talk about the science behind bowling, such as what's behind the bowling ball, and they have all these little computer simulations that still make me suck at bowling. I can't. Sorry. I can consistently bowl a 100, which is a third of the way there. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Also, they have this little tiny bowling alley with some of the small bowling ball types. It's kind of fun. You can come here, bowl a couple games, and I have no idea how I did that, but they gave me the ball back, which was kind of weird. And then I kept trying to hit those two remaining pins, and no matter how hard I try, it's like my body knew that I kind of suck at this. See, gutter ball. I mean, I try. That's all you can do, right? They also have a learning center there where you can go and do bowling research, which I guess if you show up asking to do bowling research, you're like 5 times more the man than I am. And then finally, they have the Hall of Fame, and there I was just enjoying the Hall of Fame perks. And look at these shoes; they're kind of awesome. But anyways, go check it out. It's a pretty cool little stop if you're going to Six Flags. So don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.